All right. Spring and Sean Casey, Major League Baseball Network, former Major League Baseball professional hitter. And he joins us. How do you want to be introduced here, Sean? I was trying to dress it up. You're not a slugger. You were, well, you're not fast.
I mean, I wasn't really a base stealer. I did have 11 triples, though, which is a big thing. I had 12 years at the biggest. I had 11 triples, so that's good.
You ended your career batting over 300, I believe, slightly over 300.
There you go, 302.
302.
Maybe that's how you should introduce me, I think.
If you ended at 299, would you have stayed on to bat 300 for your career?
Oh, I would have stayed on as long as I could to get over 300. And I did think about that. The last year I was in Boston, I was coming off the bench, and I'm like, oh, man, what if I just totally, just air raid myself and throw a 230 out there and I end up at 299 career here? I'll be so mad.
Mickey Mantle ended up at 298 for his career. Now
he's a little better. Yeah. He was a little better than I was.
And then Dale Murphy ended up with 398 career home runs?
Yep.
Man, I don't know.
Unbelievable.
I don't know if I could hold. I'd have to hold on and just get a couple of them, just to get to that round number.
I'm coming back for 5 games, see if I can get a couple big flies, and then I'm out of there.
All right, what's hit you so far first 2 weeks of the season?
Well, Justin Upton's hit me, and he's hit a lot of balls hard too. He's been impressive. I feel like he's playing with a chip on his shoulder out there in Atlanta. Obviously, they've got off to a hot start at 7-1, but it's been unbelievable to watch him just hit, and he's using the whole field, driving the baseball. I think everybody knew that he had that kind of talent, and I think that whole thing with Arizona and just all the trade talks and him finally ended up in Atlanta. I think you're going to see his talent, really start to come out, and he's going to be one of the premier players in the game.
Far-fetched to say Atlanta will be the best team in that division instead of the Nationals?
I don't know about that. Atlanta's obviously a great team. There's no doubt. Then they're off to a hot start, but the Nationals pitching, I think, is too good not to think that they're not going to be at the top of the East at the end of the day. And their offense, they're just a complete team. I think the Nationals at the end will be at the top of the East, but I think Atlanta will be in the mix for a playoff run.
When you faced pitchers, there are guys who threw hard, and then they eventually figured out, I don't have to throw hard every pitch. And that's what I keep saying about Steven Strasburg. Eventually, you put balls in play. Your arm's going to last a lot longer. You can go deeper into games. But someone like Justin Verlander, is he capable of being that kind of pitcher, a contact pitcher?
Well, Justin Verlander even talked about it, that he was saying that, he realized that he didn't have to go max effort all the time, that he could kind of sit at 92 to 95 for the first few innings. And everyone talks about how he gets stronger during the game. He's throwing, 6 digits towards the end of the game, 8th, 9th inning. Well, that's because he saved some of those bullets. I think, you don't have to strike everybody out. I think as you're in this league longer, you realize, hey, you can pitch to contact. You don't need to punch everybody out, and you're going to be more efficient. That's the case, and you're not going to go to 3-2 deep with everybody and have your pitch count up over 106 innings. I think that's one thing about Strasburg is, hey, you can get guys out early in the count and fill up that zone.
We're talking to Sean Casey, Major League Baseball Network, a 300 career hitter, and you actually made a mistake on the number of triples. You don't even know how many triples you have.
How many do I have?
You have 12.
Oh, I had 12. See, I cut myself one short.
How the hell do you not know how many triples you had? It doesn't take that long.
I know, Danny. I don't know. And 12's not a lot, so I blew that one big time. Unbelievable.
More pressure on Mike Scioscia or Don Mattingly?
I'd say Don Mattingly. Just because, they came in and they've spent so much money. They bought the club for a couple $2 billion, which is unbelievable. And then they come in and make all those big trades, go out and get Zach Greinke, put big money into the team. And I think the Dodgers are saying we need to win and win now, and this is the year. So I think there's a little more pressure on Don Mattingly. There's pressure on Scioscia, but I don't think they have the pitching over there, especially with Weaver going down now for a few weeks. But I don't know if that rotation is going to be good enough to win the West.
Well, you also look at these teams, that the Dodgers do have. They seem to have a more well-rounded team. You got the Angels with those 3 guys, Pujols and Josh, and then, you're trying to figure out, how they get better. What do they do for an encore here?
Right.
How tough is that for these guys to all sort of mesh together? You got Trout. And also you guys know when you go that second time through with the league, they all of a sudden figure out holes here. Now, certain guys you do, certain guys you don't. Let me start with Trout. Have they figured out a little bit of what to do with Trout if you're the pitching staffs?
Well, I think the scouting's, obviously so good. The advanced scouts, where they have all the things where his hot zones are and stuff. Listen, Mike Trout's such a good player that, it's a chess game. Your second year, you're right, Danny. It's a chess game where you say, okay, you figured us out last year. You were hot the whole season. We're going to maybe pitch you differently and come at you in a different way. And it's a game of adjustments. So, Mike Trout is going to have to come back and make his adjustments. And I just feel like he's just such a talented kid, and that, he's going to play to his strengths, and he's going to have a great year. I don't know if it's going to be as good as a year as it was last year, because that was an unbelievable season he had, but he's going to be a great player in the league, and he's going to have to continue to make adjustments.
Why put on 20 pounds if you're Mike Trout?
Because he's still a young kid that's still growing, and he looks like a football player out there. But you're right. I mean, 20 pounds. Maybe he feels like that's going to help him out. But it's true too that he plays a position where you're running a lot. He's going to steal a lot of bases. He's probably going to lose some weight during the summer. So that 20 pounds at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to hurt him.
How's your voice here? What's going on? You're not even mid-season form.
I think a frog just jumped into my throat, and he's just playing ping pong down there with a buddy of his. So no big deal.
You didn't play with Greg Maddux, did you?
No, I never played with Greg Maddux, no.
Because we had Chipper Jones on a couple of weeks ago, and he always has great Greg Maddux stories. I mean, just called him one of the sickest individuals in the history of the game.
I've heard a bunch of them, which is awesome.
But, well, can you tell any of
No, the ones I heard I can't tell. I legitimately can't tell in the air.
But who did you play with that might rival the sickness of Greg Maddux?
I would say Pete Harnish. Pete Harnish was one of the funniest guys I've ever played with, and he would rival definitely Greg Maddux. I don't know if he's as sick as him.
Oh, boy.
Denny Nagel had some. He was a little sick too. But he had some, but funny, like super funny. Ryan Dempster, like just funny prank jokes that were sometimes a little sick, which they're three of the funniest teammates I've ever played with. Can you tell us any of those stories? I'm trying to think. I don't think I can. I thought I could tell the one, but I don't think I can. No, I can't do it.
You can't even clean it up?
Okay, let me try and clean this one up.
Oh, boy.
There was a guy on our team that used to sometimes have the skids. Is that okay? The skid marks after the game, right?
Yeah.
And would throw it into the laundry. And everyone's like, "Hey, man, you got to get some black shorts or something. Like, you can't keep having this big skid marks and throwing them into the laundry, And the next thing you know, it's mixing with all our other clothes. So it was like our big joke, but no one would say anything to this guy. So Nagel one day pulls out the underwear, and he's like, "Hey, bro." He's like, "This is unacceptable." And it was just like, it looked like it wasn't the skids. It was like the skids times 10. You're like, "Oh man, that's a legit one right there." So he holds it up and he's like, "This is disgusting. It's unacceptable. We can't keep doing this." And then he takes a big bite out of it. And everyone's like, and Greg Vaughn legitimately gagged. Like, everyone's like, "Oh wow, this is disgusting. You gotta be kidding me." Well, it turns out Nagel took a Snickers bar and smeared it onto the shorts, and then threw them in there, and then it went out and got him, and everyone, he duped everybody, but it was a good one. He legitimately thought that he took a big bite at a crime. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
Am I allowed to tell that one?
Well, you just did. Probably not, but you know what?
See, you know what? You got me. The other ones were way worse than that. I tried to clean that one up a little bit.
You know what? You were sitting dead red, and I threw a hook at you right there.
Oh man, unbelievable! That was in the dirt. I was out on my front foot swinging this right there.
We look forward to you joining us in studio again.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm sorry I couldn't get there today, but I can't wait to join you guys again.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Sean.
All right, DP. Take care.
All right, Sean Casey, Major League Baseball Network analyst. I like when you say, "Is there one you can say on the air?" and you get a ha, and then you go, "Uh-oh." Sean will be on MLB Tonight, 8 Eastern. Analysis, live look-ins at 10 games throughout Major League Baseball. And check your local listings at findmlbnetwork.com.